What's up, friends? Welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another Paris vlog. Today we're going to be exploring some of the best luxury vintage shops in Paris. You guys know I'm a huge luxury addict, but I do like to get a good deal on luxury, and also exploring some unique and archival pieces. Paris is one of the best places in the world to shop for luxury vintage handbags, ready-to-wear, and accessories. So whether you're planning your next trip or just along with me for the thrill, let's see what hidden gems I can find at the best vintage shops in Paris. Let's get going. And we are off. Today we are headed to Les Marais, one of my favorite neighborhoods to shop in Paris. It's pretty difficult not to bump into at least one vintage store here, as there are so many, especially on the famous Rue de Turenne. But don't be overwhelmed. I'm going to show you my 5 favorites today in this video, and of course, what I purchased along the way. And all of these shops will be linked down below in the description box in case you are planning your next trip to Paris or want to have a browse on their international e-shops. Let's go. Our first stop is the Parisian Vintage. I thought that this store in particular had one of the best selections of higher end luxury brands, a lot of the bigger fashion houses that we both know about, at fair prices. They had a beautifully curated mix of interesting pieces that are still very wearable and worthy of investment. I also thought that this store in particular had one of the best selections of handbags that were both relevant and in excellent condition. Let me show you around. Right here in the front entrance, we start off with a gorgeous Tom Ford era Gucci Jackie bag. This bag has been having such a resurgence. And then we have this sparkly Burberry coat with a little bit of like a peplum bottom. Another Gucci bag here with the monogram. I think this might also be Tom Ford era. They also had a lot of really beautiful furry coats. Some of these were real fur, a really nice mix of quality coats. This one right here was my absolute favorite. This is a Long Balmain Astrakhan coat. This was absolutely spectacular. In fact, if I didn't live in a warm weather state and if this coat wasn't like 3 sizes too big on me, I actually probably would have picked this up. Such good quality, so warm, full length coat for like a couple €100. It's like such a good deal. They have so many from big name brand designers. If you were to purchase this in the boutique, it would be obviously thousands of dollars. They also had some cocktail dresses in this store as well. This is a classic Hervé Leger bandage dress in some beautiful neutral tones. And take a look at this leather jacket. This was so cool, so rocker. I love the little clasps on here. This is from a brand called Giorgio. I also tried on this furry jacket, which was a little bit too small, but I really loved the mix of the fur and the leather in this beautiful on-trend burgundy color. For all of my Chanel lovers out there, look at this leather jacket. It is so gorgeous. It has kind of like an iridescent finish to it with the silver pinstripes and the buttons. Oh, I will say even Chanel vintage is very expensive, so set your expectations when you go into these stores. If you see Chanel, it's still going to be several $1,000s. We also have a little bit of Christian Dior here, some beautiful printed trousers, and in the back of the store they have even more outerwear, sweaters, everyday basics from big designer brands. You're gonna see right here this beautiful shirt from, once again, Christian Dior. It's kind of like this linen chambray material with some impeccable embellishments there. I love the little beading and flowers there on the chest. They also had a really beautiful selection of jewelry. I do apologize for the slight glare here, but hopefully you can admire. They have some really beautiful Chanel earrings and some other no-name brands with just really gorgeous styles. As I mentioned earlier, I thought that the Parisian Vintage had the best selection of handbags out of all of the stores that we visited on this trip. I loved that red python. We have a white maxi. We also have some Hermes treasures here. It looks like a beautiful box calf Kelly, gorgeously worn in supple leather and a little YSL. Cute little blue marine bag, a little bit more on the affordable side. And then in the back of the store, they had some of my favorite handbags that I saw on this trip. Here we have the classic Louis Vuitton Speedy bag. This one must be some sort of limited edition collection because it was covered with these beautiful embroidered flowers. This was my favorite bag that I saw. This is the Celine Boogie bag. I want this bag so much, and this is a pretty hard color combination to find, and especially in as good condition as this was. The only thing that made me hesitate and leave this at the store ultimately is just the fact that you can purchase these bags on eBay for about half the price. This one was going for like 600 to 700 euros, and I just know you can get these on eBay for like 300 to 400 USD. So I decided to leave this one, but it was in such good condition, and I'm sure the price was higher because of that, and also because of the unique colorway. As you can see, they also had some more recent styles. We have an embroidered Dior D-Joy here in the white, and my second favorite bag is this one from Dior. I believe this one is called the Columbus bag, a John Galliano era piece. I love the kind of chunky, industrial, almost Western hardware here. You have the cute little side cargo pocket. This style of bag is having a huge resurgence right now, and I just love the way that it looked. And once again, it was in impeccable condition. My mom actually spotted this Louis Vuitton trench and she wanted me to try it on. Not something that I particularly need, but I really like the little cape effect in the back. Really beautiful trench, and I thought it was on sale for a really good price as well. But of course, I was instead attracted to this very interesting pony-haired Pico blazer. I'm not sure what to call this. This actually, I don't think it had a tag in it. There's not like a specific name brand, but the quality was so good. It has a very nice hefty weight to it. I love the style of the buttons, the fuzziness of the pony hair. Everything about it I thought was just really cool and unique. And surprise, surprise, this is what I ended up getting from this boutique. I thought the quality was really good. I know it's not a name brand, but honestly, I thought it was one of the most interesting things I saw in the store. Something that I could wear, you know, to a lot of places. I do live here in Texas, and this has a little bit of like a Western flair, a little bit of a cowboy vibe to it, and I couldn't be happier. And if you are enjoying this video, please don't forget to give me a thumbs up and maybe even consider subscribing to my channel. I upload new videos every single week, all about everyday beauty and accessible luxury style. Next up, we have Predilection, and this boutique was very different from the last one. The style is a lot more edgy, quirky, little more of like a rock and roll type of vibe. It's a very small boutique, but there's so much goodness packed into that small little space. I thought that they had a really good selection of leather and suede pieces. I mean, take a look at this blue suede shirt. In fact, I think this was a set. It was the shirt and it came with pants. So cool. And then also this leather halter top with the studs, very rock and roll. I like this one as well. This was a mixture of like denim and leather layered on top of each other. Some really interesting pieces I've never seen before. I mean, I'm not really sure what this is right here, but hey, it's cool. One of my favorites was this beautiful leather Bali button-up shirt. Take a look at that gray buttery leather in beautiful condition. This is such a unique piece. Unfortunately, it was a little bit small on me. I couldn't button it up, but you can kind of get the vibe right there. Another one of my faves was this super cool leather jacket from Boy London. I love the way that this drapes. Really cool silhouette. Doesn't look like that much on the hanger, but when you put it on, man, it just gives the coolest shape. I love the big wide lapels, the big sort of voluminous 80s style sleeves. I just thought this was so cool, and the leather felt very soft, very high quality. Predilection also had a very cool selection of footwear, all kinds of different vintage shoes. I don't know what designers these are from, but we have a lot of edgy going out shoes, lots of laces, some studs, some hardware, very rock and roll. It's not always my style, but I was surprised at how many pieces in this store I really liked, and the sales associate was so nice and really pulled out so many cool things that ended up suiting me very well. For example, this amazing polka dot peplum top. I don't know where I'm going in this, but the waist is snatched. It's bringing me back to my college days when the peplum tops were all the rage. I did hear that peplum is coming back, by the way. I've never tried on anything like this. I like the little buttons, I like the little lapels, the puff sleeves, which normally I don't really wear. Again, something I would never find in another store, and the sales associate was like, ooh, you need to try this on, and she was totally right. And to all of my clueless fans out there, take a look at this fuzzy coat. This actually came with a matching mini skirt. I didn't try on the mini skirt. I don't think it was in my size. Finally, I also tried on this leather jacket, which actually wasn't vintage and wasn't for sale. They actually were in the middle of doing like a photo shoot with a model and everything, and they were modeling this and they gave it to me to try on. I just thought it was fabulous, okay? So comment down below and let me know what you think of all these pieces. And surprise, surprise, I did go home with the Boy London leather jacket. I was very tempted to get the polka dot peplum top because it just looked so good, but I knew I would get more wear out of this leather jacket. It's kind of like a classic wardrobe piece, but done in a really interesting and unique way, and I'm so excited I was able to bring this home with me. Next up, we have Nuovo Vintage. I think that this is a really great vintage boutique if you are looking for more mid-range brands and prices. I didn't find the options here as interesting, but what I liked about this shop is that it is full of approachable silhouettes and also price points. There aren't as many like high-end designer brands, but they have a lot of really nice, like I said, mid-range Parisian brands that you're gonna find here. Everything that I picked up, I felt like I could see myself wearing somewhere. Nuovo had quite a few leather jackets and blazers. I particularly liked this one in the beautiful desaturated eggplant purple. It was just so buttery soft to the touch. They also had a lot of mixed material pieces. I love the knit sleeves on this leather jacket, and my mom and I were so obsessed with this little knit vest and the ultra soft fur trim. This one was really cute. They also had a lot of very sweet coats. This one is powder blue, and check out those bedazzled pockets. Then they also had a lot of fur coats. This one is particularly glamorous if you want to rock the mob wife trend that's been going on for the past year or so. These are just perfect for that. I really liked the ones that were extra poofy, extra voluminous like this one right here. But I mean, come on, you cannot beat this leopard print one. I mean, this one was so spectacular. Nuovo Vintage also had quite a few accessories. I don't know if these are vintage. They didn't look like they were. They had some beaded bags, they had some fur hats, some shoes, lots of things to check out. I decided to try on this skirt from a brand called Plain Sud. Hopefully I'm pronouncing that okay. Apparently this was really big in the 80s and 90s. A lot of celebrities have worn this brand, and I saw a lot of pieces from this brand, not only in this boutique, but in a couple of others around the Marais. Very cool style. I can't say that it totally suited me, but I definitely appreciated it. And then lastly, I had to try on these high-waisted, tapered, pleated, leather white pants. I thought these were so cool, and they just happen to fit me like a glove, which is such an awesome feeling when you go vintage shopping because you really never know what size it's going to be. And I did end up picking these up and taking them home. So comment down below, let me know what you think about these. One other thing that I want to mention is that you can always politely bargain or haggle with the boutiques. Just make sure you're polite. With these white pants, there was like a little mark or two that wasn't super visible, but I just felt like they were priced a little bit more than what I was willing to pay. And the sales associate very kindly took off like 20 or 30 euro off of the price. If you're very polite and you make an offer, sometimes they say yes, and if they say no, well, there you go, you tried. Next up, we have The Room Vintage. This boutique has 2 locations in Le Marais, and I just love the airy and spacious vibe of this one. I also thought that this boutique had the best prices. There were a lot of top high-end designer names that I'm going to show you in just a second, but me and my mom were both pretty shocked because I feel like you could easily double the prices of these in New York. There were a lot of really nice, well-priced full-length coats and trenches, and so many other cute pieces in this boutique. Right here in the front of the store, we have this cute little knit Prada top. I love the print on this one. Very signature Prada for only 110 euro. We also had some really beautiful Max Mara coats. This one is retailing for only 360 euro. My mom actually tried this one on. It looks just like the Madame coat that I love from Max Mara, which is, I think like $5,000, something ridiculously expensive. And they have it here for 360 euro and it looks brand new. I actually really love the way this looked on my mom. They had some other brands that were priced a little bit higher. So we have this YSL coat that was 540 euro, but it was, you know, a little bit more of like a thicker and longer style. We also have a little bit of Versace here. I loved this funky blazer with the leopard print and the little skinny belt to nip in the waist. My mom was very excited when she discovered this beautiful Burberry coat in this gorgeous olive green for only 360 euro. This was a full-length coat, very thick, very warm, fit her like a glove. There were a lot of Burberry pieces actually in this store. They had trench coats, they had full-length coats, and they all were very reasonably priced. My mom also tried on this beautiful Burberry car coat, and what's hilarious is that I have one just like this that I bought from the boutique a couple years ago. I wear it all the time. It has the check print on the inside, just like this one. And once again, this one was retailing for only like 300 euro or something crazy like that. It also had some pieces that were a little bit more recent. I loved this monogram Fendi trench. Anything with monogram is going to be priced a little bit higher. This one was 820 euro. They also had some classic French brands. So right here you see this beautiful Alaya blazer. And I really liked this Dolce & Gabbana suit. It was made of kind of a, I think maybe like a linen blend type of material. $290 for the Dolce & Gabbana suit. If that actually were to fit me, I probably would have tried it on. Overall, I thought there were some really good deals in this boutique. And at the end of the day, while I didn't pick anything up, my mom did get the beautiful olive green Burberry coat, and she has been wearing that ever since. Next up, we have Nice Piece of Vintage. And I have to say, I think that this one was my favorite out of the ones that I'm gonna show you today. I don't know how to describe this store other than cool. Like, everything about this boutique is so cool. The vibe, the clothes, the decor. It's a little bit edgy, it's a little bit sexy, a little bit rocker. The place is huge as well. They have a very big selection and they even have an entire downstairs as well. I think that the owner is Italian, so they had a lot of Italian brands in this boutique and just a general cool and sexy flair throughout the whole store. There's a really nice mix of both mid-range brands and also high-end designer names at this boutique. And let us start our tour with this very chic Moschino vintage dress. This definitely has a little bit of vintage flair, but also very classic Italian Moschino. I was also very fond of this kind of lacy paisley style type of blouse. I believe this one is Miss Sony. They also had some Alaya dresses. I did try this one on. It didn't suit me very well, but it's still a very cool piece. I also really like these cool shimmering printed trousers. Love the texture on those. And this dress as well. I didn't try this on and I don't remember what brand this is, but I thought the kind of interlaced detail here was very unique and beautiful. And this dress also has some really interesting detail right there on the shoulder straps. They didn't have a ton of handbags in this store, but they did have some cool ones that very much matched the style. And we have a little shimmering Paco Rabanne here as well. I loved this Escada jacket in the black with the chunky gold studs. And take a look at this jacket. It is just completely encrusted with embellishments. I don't know what brand that is, so comment down below if you happen to know. And for all my cat ladies out there who cannot get enough of their leopard print, take a look at these super cool printed pants. This boutique also had a very nice selection of fur coats. This one in particular really stood out to me. I love the beautiful, rich chocolate brown color, the gorgeous gold buttons. This one right here also stood out to me. Take a look at the beautiful chevron pattern on this coat. I thought it was really unique. I believe that this is mink. Oh, it was so luxurious, so cozy. It was a little bit big on me. And like I said, I live in a warm weather state, so I didn't pick this one up, but I did really, really like it. Nice Piece of Vintage also had a great selection of beautiful silk blouses, which I highly recommend checking out if you're in any vintage store, because I feel like the silk blouses from back then, they were just a lot thicker, better quality, more luxurious. I'm trying on a Versace blouse right here. I love the colors in this one, the cool, whimsical, funky print. I didn't end up getting this one, however, because it was Versace, so it was priced about double the other blouses in the store. So I decided to try on some more like no-name brands as well. This one right here really stood out to me. I love the funky print, some of my favorite colors. It was a little bit oversized, more blousey, and once again, it was just so thick and luxurious. I also really liked this animal print one. Has kind of like a, I don't know, kind of like a tiger print. I thought this one was really cool as well, and actually I did end up going home with both of these blouses. I'll show you some quick clips here of how I styled up these blouses, just with like some simple blue jeans and even the white leather trousers that I got from the other shop. If you enjoyed this little shopping excursion, give it a thumbs up and definitely check out part 1, where I show you 5 more vintage shops in Paris, including the best place to check out for luxury vintage handbags. There's all of that and even more eye candy in my luxury vlog series coming up next.